Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back, or welcome if you are new. I hope you are having a fantastic start to your weekend. It's Saturday once again, which means it's time for Ye Olde Weekly Home Fragrance Roundup. And if you are new around here, this video goes up pretty much every Saturday, and it's just an opportunity for me to chit chat about all of the home fragrance that I was using around the house over the course of the past week. So what I was burning, what I was melting, what I was crocking, what I was lamping. We have much to discuss from this past week, but before we get into it, usual disclaimer, check out the description box down there. I will put links for where you can get any of the home fragrance products that I'm sharing in today's video. There's some discount codes down there. I also like to put the candle sales that are happening at my personal favorite candle companies over the weekend. Usually most weekends, candle companies have sales, so that's down there. There's also some videos that I automatically link, just some things that I typically get questions about, like what's a candle croc, what's a candle lamp. There's a video about that. I also have some crocs and lamps linked down there that I personally use that I think are fantastic quality. There's some other candle and wax related videos down there as well. So feel free to check out the description box. It's a plethora of information. But yeah, we have a lot to discuss this week, so I kind of just want to dive in. But definitely let me know what you were burning and melting this past week in the description box down below. I always like to see what you guys are up to home fragrance wise as well. So let me know. Okay, so we are filming in a different location today. Obviously, my husband is downstairs. He is still dealing with his sciatic stuff, and he is taking some frequent naps. The medication he is on right now is making him pretty sleepy. So I just thought I'd go ahead and bring everything upstairs just so he can have the downstairs in peace and quiet. But that also means that we don't have Alf with us today. So Alf is downstairs playing nurse, which he is so good at, you guys. He is so worried about his papa. It just melts my heart. But yeah, I'm looking at a lot of candles here. So let's get into it. We're gonna get started with what I'm actually currently burning right now downstairs. I have a couple of really good combos going, so I'm not doing the usual tour where I take you guys around the house, but I did write everything down, so we're gonna go through it that way. Okay, so first of all, burning in the kitchen is a combination of Cringle Reserve Dalgona, which is a coffee scent, I guess you could say. And I'm mixing that. I've been a little bit of a mixologist this week. Listen, I've had a little extra time on my hands. I'm staying home with Craig while he is not well because he needs a lot of help right now. So I did not go to work at all this week. So burn time that I had available was plentiful. So I've been doing a little bit of mixing. But I paired that Dalgona with the Two Sprouts Candle Company birthday cake fragrance that I reviewed a few days ago, and that combination is so good. That like vanilla birthday cake with buttercream frosting scent combined with that coffee Dalgona type vibe is such a great combo. It's like a really creamy like latte almost is what I'm getting from that combo. And it's just a really lovely combination. And then in the front of the house, this combination is really good. If you happen to have both of these candles, one of them might be a long shot for most people because I don't know that most people want to splurge on the Better World Fragrance House candles, but I love them. If you're not familiar, a Better World Fragrance House is actually Drake's candle brand, as in the rapper Drake. So I have his Williamsburg Sleepover, which is so lovely. I'm gonna have to repurchase that probably pretty soon after finishing it. I have come to absolutely fall in love with that Williamsburg Sleepover. I did review it, so the review is up on my channel. But I'm mixing it with Bath & Body Works Warm Vanilla Sugar, and that combo is so, so good. Williamsburg Sleepover, just on its own, has a little bit of sweetness to it, but then when I add in the warm vanilla sugar, it just amps it up a little bit and adds that, again, warm vanilla vibe into that Williamsburg sleepover, and it's just so incredibly good together. So the downstairs smells pretty good right now. I am not using any of my lamps this past week, so I don't have anything to report lamp-wise. I did finish something towards the end of last weekend, and I'll show you what I finished, but let me tell you what I have going in my Crocs right now. So in the downstairs laundry room, I found a Cringle, I believe it's the fresh cotton scent, or maybe it's warm cotton. I can't remember. It's something with cotton, but I had burned that to the halfway point and just kind of set it to the side in a cabinet. I don't know why. It's actually a really great laundry scent. So I decided to go ahead and pop that into my candle crock in the laundry room. And I have loved that fragrance in there this week. Every time I walk into the laundry room, it just smells like fresh, clean laundry. Because my husband is both actually Craig and Stella are kind of sensitive when it comes to their skin, I can't really use the highly fragranced laundry detergents. I will use the Scentsy laundry detergent on my clothing sometimes, but for the most part, I use a fragrance-free laundry detergent, so I don't really get to enjoy that like natural laundry scent, if you will. But I like being able to smell that in the air in the laundry room. I have to admit that that particular Cringle candle is quite potent though. And so it's a little strong just putting it in a small laundry room in a candle crock, but it's also just really, really lovely. So I'm leaving it. Upstairs in our master bedroom, I have a candle crock, and I decided to put a candle. Now I'm hoping that you guys can help me remember what the name of this candle is, but it's an aqueous candle. I'm not sure. Go down memory lane with me. I think it was maybe like 2013 or 14 that a bunch of us were obsessed with these aqueous candles that we were finding at Marshall's and HomeGoods and TJ Maxx. They have really beautiful thick glass. And and none of them came with lids though. They just came in boxes. Anyway, I had one left that I have just had sitting in our guest like bathroom in the upstairs here. I never lit it, and the top of the wax, because again, there was no lid, was kind of starting to just collect dust. So I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna melt this in one of my Crocs. The fragrance is Boardwalk something. I don't know if it was like Boardwalk Cafe or Boardwalk Stroll, or I cannot for the life of me remember. And I didn't think to look at the bottom of the candle prior to plopping it into the crock, but if you know anything about candle crocks, once you put a candle in there, the whole thing gets melted, right? And this candle was pretty full to begin with. Like the wax line is this far from the top, so I couldn't even lift it out because it fit into the crock perfectly. So it's one of those where I'm totally going to have to like turn the crock off completely in order to get the candle out, unless I want to like try to like stick my thumbs into the side. Like I can't even, if this makes sense, I can't even get into the crock to be able to lift it out. Does that make sense? Anyway, moral of the story is, I don't know what the name of this candle is. It's Boardwalk something. I'll give you a prize if you can help me remember the entire name of the candle, but that is what is in our master bedroom. It's kind of a sweet, it's an interesting fragrance because it has a little bit of a sweetness to it, but then it also has this like kind of sandalwood vibe as well. It's a very unique fragrance. It's not super potent. So even in the crock, melting the whole thing, I can smell it in the room, but it's not smacking me in the face. Usually if I put a brand new full-sized candle into a crock, especially in our master bedroom, because it's a more enclosed space, obviously, like those candles usually just like kind of take over, right? Because you're melting all of those fragrance oils at once. So it's usually pretty potent. But with that one, I think just not having a lid on that candle for all of the years that I've had it just sitting in that bathroom just caused a lot of those oils to maybe evaporate or something. But anyway, still enjoying the fragrance, but it's on the lighter end for sure. And then in here, I have another candle crock, and I almost finished my Voluspa Gilt Pomander and Hinoki. I had that in our downstairs powder room for the longest time, but I had maybe like this much wax left, and I was like, oh, I feel like I'm gonna miss this fragrance now that I'm so close to finishing it. So I decided to pop it into the candle crock in here, and I have been loving it. Here's the thing, when I first purchased that candle, I wasn't like crazy about it. I liked it. But the more that I've burned it over the last several years, and it has taken me a few years to get through this one, because usually I would just put it in the powder room during like the holidays, and I wouldn't even light it like, you know, every single day. It would just be like when we had guests over or something. But now that I've smelled this for several years in a row, it's really grown on me. So while initially I would have thought about not repurchasing that, now I think I'm gonna repurchase that. Probably not until this next holiday season rolls around, but I love it. I'll probably just get it actually in the same jar again, because it's actually quite potent. I think that's the most potent 1 wick candle that I have purchased from Voluspa. A lot of the other candles that I've burned in just their regular like glass 1 wick jars really haven't been super strong. It's not that they're unscented, it's just that there's just not enough oomph with only 1 wick, right? So anyway, love that scent and cannot wait to enjoy it again this holiday season. Like, that one really has been a surprise for me. Like, again, it's not that I disliked it after I purchased it, but it just wasn't something that wowed me for some reason, but it's wowing me now, so who knew? All right, so that is everything that is going on in terms of what's burning right now and what I'm melting in my crocs. Again, nothing under the lamps right now, but I might be getting into using more of my lamps probably in the coming weeks. Let's discuss the empties. I will grab this one here because I'm kind of proud of finishing this. This is what I like to call a big mama jama candle. This is the Sniff Crumb Couture. I love this one, and I also love the perfume. Well, it's technically an eau de toilette, but the Sniff is both a personal and home fragrance company. So they have candles, they have perfumes. And the Crumb Couture I first got in the perfume, and as soon as I got in the perfume, I was like, I need the candle. So good. It's taken me quite some time to get through this. I will say I don't love the wicks that Crumb Couture uses. They definitely get pretty short, and so sometimes I think it just kind of looks like there's a drowning wick situation going on, but they're not. Like, it's just how the candle burns. But you just don't get a lot of, I guess, ambiance maybe from their wicks. Now, I will say, I did just purchase some other Sniff candles. I will show you guys a haul in the next few days here of just some random odds and ends that I've picked up. But I feel like the wicks on these new candles that I bought are a little bit different, so I'm excited to compare them. But moral of the story is I finished this Crumb Couture. It's somewhat similar, it's not a dupe, but it's somewhat similar to Cringle Jelly Donut. This feels almost a little bit sweeter, even than Jelly Donut is. This one could get cloying for some people. I just want to warn you, I would suggest maybe not getting the 4 wick like I did, because that's what this was. It was a 4 wick. I would suggest maybe starting with the 1 or 2 wick. I believe a 2 wick is available. And that's probably gonna be potent enough, to be totally honest. This was quite strong. I burned this all the way down to here, so I had a little bit of wax left, and then I decided to put the last little bit underneath my candle lamp in my kitchen. You will have seen that the week before last, so you saw that the actual lamp part was like inside of the candle here. So even if you have a taller candle, as long as you have one of those adjustable arm candle warmers, does that make sense? Like the ones that can go up and down. Like this one behind me here, that's stationary. Like that can't go up and down. So it kind of limits, well, it doesn't limit. I can put little little coasters or something underneath to bring the candle up closer to the lamp if I wanted to. But I don't know, that gets a little precarious sometimes. So I really prefer the candle lamps that are, that have the adjustable arms. So I was able to like initially feed this in there and then have it sitting on the marble base, and this melted for a solid 2 weeks and gave me so much delicious fragrance in the kitchen. It was so potent underneath the lamp that I had to be pretty mindful about what I was burning in the kitchen for the last couple of weeks. It needed to make sense with this fragrance, so I've had to stick with, you know, the gourmands, the chocolates, things like that in the kitchen, but I really enjoyed this. I'll probably buy this again, but maybe not in the 4-wick version. I might just get it in the 2-wick version. But also, I'm so in love with Cringle Jelly Donut, that which is admittedly more affordable than what this is. So it probably won't be anytime soon, but in the future, again, I would repurchase this. I really liked it a lot. And if you're into these like sweet gourmand fragrances and you want to try something new, maybe something different from Jelly Donut, I would highly recommend this one. But just to warn you, the price point is gonna be more. For example, I think I paid 120 or was it 130 for this 4-wick. The 4-wick from Cringle is $45. So big difference. Anyway, let's keep going with what I finished this week. This was depressing to finish because it's my second to last Henry Bendle Vanilla Bean. I did put this on one of my little like hot plate warmers for a few days to extract the little tiny bit of fragrance oil that was left in the very bottom layer here. The wick clip actually did its job here and extinguished the candle. But then I was like, oh, there's still some wax down there. And normally when a wick clip like extinguishes the candle, I'm like, great, candle's done, move along. I couldn't do that with this one because I just love it so much. So I warmed this last little bit of wax, and this is pretty much unscented now, but oh, has anyone found anything that is an exact dupe of Henry Bendle Vanilla Bean? If you have, please tell me what it is. I don't care how much it costs. I just want this. I mean, I guess I can probably go on eBay and see if someone is selling them at an absurd price point, but ugh, I hate to do that. I just, if I can find a replacement, I would be happy with that. So let me know if you have one. All right, we have one more empty. Is that right? Yeah. Nope, we've got a couple more. I pulled some things out of Crocs. So let's discuss what I pulled out of Crocs last week. The Darkest Night was in the master bedroom. This was a reserve candle from a while ago. Nice, clean, soapy type of fragrance in that one. A little bit of a spice to it, not much, but kind of an interesting scent. And then this one was downstairs in the laundry room. This is unicorn poop from Cringle. This basically smelled like Aquilina's pink sugar. I love Aquilina pink sugar because I wore that in the early 2000s. In fact, I think I may have been wearing that perfume the night that I met Craig. It was that or probably like Victoria's Secret Love Spell. Listen, it was 2003 and I was, what, 24, 23, 24, somewhere around there. All I know is that my back did not hurt nearly as much when I was in my mid-20s. Okay, one more candle finished. And this is actually a Valentine's candle from HomeWorx. I just reviewed it this week. And after I filmed the review, I just kept burning the heck out of it because I love this scent. And here's the thing, I think this is a dupe or a repackage of some other HomeWorx fragrances that came out in the past. So Be Mine, to my nose, smells like a version of vanilla currant biscotti, raspberry coconut snowball, raspberry Linzer cookie. I really think that they are kind of the same. They're all the same scent, but slightly tweaked each time it comes out. And this is not new. This was actually released in a previous year for Valentine's Day, but I didn't try it back then. So yeah, listen, it burned like a freaking champ. Look at how clean that burn was. This is the thing that I was most impressed with this one. The wick clips obviously did their job at the bottom there. That wax is not discolored at all. It's just this beautiful, like blushy pink. I really love the color of the wax here. This had a really solid strength and throw. I was so happy with this candle. So I'm gonna repurchase this. Yeah, anyway, I reviewed it. So if you missed that review, you can go check it out. But I love this scent. I'm gonna need some more at some point, definitely. The other candle that I reviewed from HomeWorx from their Valentine's collection was Cutie Pie. Now this one I am not finished with. I am still at the halfway point, but I will be burning this one probably this weekend. And again, we have a really nice clean burn on this guy here. It is doing that thing where the wicks kind of lean inward, and you'll be able to see that hopefully as I hope. Can you see what those wicks are doing? It's so funny because I feel like so many of my HomeWorx candles do that. So this is part of the reason why I tend to limit the burn for HomeWorx is like if I go much beyond 3 hours, the wax pool gets deep enough to where that lean, if there is a heavy mushroom top on the top of the wick here, it will go boink into the wax. So that's part of the reason why I'm so mindful. Also, I find that I get a cleaner burn out of HomeWorx just overall by not letting them go for hours on end. But yeah, this is a really lovely fragrance. It's kind of the same idea as like the pink petal tea cake back in the day where you're mixing a gourmand with a floral, and I love it. I love this. I've already talked it to death in the review, so I really like this one. It also had a pretty solid performance, and it's just been a nice light floral to enjoy, I don't know, as we, I guess, barrel toward Valentine's Day. Do you celebrate Valentine's Day? Let me know. Craig and I never really have. Like, it's one of those Hallmark holidays that we just do not participate in. All right. Also this week, I lit this a couple times. I will tell you something right now. These Better World Fragrance House candles burn forever. They might be expensive, but the burn time is lengthy and the strength and throw is so good for these one wick candles. I really, if you are interested in trying a new candle company, I cannot encourage you enough to look into this one. I'm still gonna be picking up the Carby Musk. In fact, you know what? I have a $15 off coupon from Ulta. Maybe I'll put it towards that candle. I'm just so curious about what makes that fragrance so much more expensive. Apparently there's some technology, but okay, I think I'm gonna order that this weekend because Ulta did give me a coupon, and I'm just so curious about it, and it's probably gonna be a while before I get another coupon. Listen, this Good Thoughts fragrance is really good. I like this one a lot. I don't know that I'll repurchase this one. This is a fresh, more like soapy, clean type scent. The Williamsburg Sleepover is more of a cozy, warm, like more vanilla type fragrance. But this one is probably a one and done for me, but I have really enjoyed it a lot, and the strength and throw is amazing. If you like these clean, fresh fragrances, you gotta check out the Good Thoughts. But yeah, I'll update you guys on the Carby Musk. I'm just so curious about the technology behind it. It better be really freaking good for $80, I tell you that, because even, listen, the $48 price point for these guys, I think is fair. I do actually think it's fair. It's a super clean burn. It's amazing strength and throw, and they last a long time. So $48, yes, absolutely. But the Carby Musk is the same size, basically same format, but $80 instead of $48. So yeah, but I mean, look how clean that burn is. That is amazing. And I leave these lit for hours. Like, we have a time limit with HomeWorx, right? I have let this go for like 8 hours a day, and it still looks like this. Like, just incredibly clean, beautiful, just amazing. Good job, Drake. Good job. All right, also this week I was burning Into the Night, which to my nose is very similar to the Dark Kiss fragrance from Bath & Body Works. I decided to put this black glass lid on there. I keep all of my fun Bath & Body Works lids. I really like this one. I think this was from that Bridgerton collection. This is burning pretty good with the exception of, there's a little bit of a scorch mark on the side here, but the rest of the jar looks clean. So I'm wondering if something with the maybe the wick is too close to the side. It doesn't look like it, so I don't really understand where that scorch mark came from, but anyway, it's still burning okay, so we're gonna keep lighting it, but if she starts to misbehave, I'll put her in a crock. Love this scent though, it's very sweet. Definitely, I think, a great fragrance for Valentine's Day, so there you go. Love that. Some other candles, let's grab the ones that are not the recent releases, because next we're going to talk about the post-burn updates from the most recent Cringle release. I started burning those, so I've got some information for you guys. But other than that, from Cringle, I've been still burning the Valentine's collection, you guys, from the recent Reserve launch before this last one. This is the Red Velvet. I love this Red Velvet. I am so in love with this chocolate scent. It is leaning more towards like that lighter milk chocolate type of chocolate scent. And normally I actually prefer a dark chocolate like this, the bittersweet. But man, this one's rocking my world. It smells so much like a red velvet cake to my nose. And I mentioned in my video where I reviewed this that like I am just obsessed with red velvet cake right now for some reason. So that particular candle just couldn't be more perfect for me. Definitely have a backup of that. This is bittersweet. I have still been enjoying bittersweet this week as well. This is a much darker chocolate fragrance. Very deep, not quite as sweet maybe as the Red Velvet. It has some sweetness, don't get me wrong, but it just smells like the dark chocolate bars, right? Like when you get the Ghirardelli chocolate bars that are like 70%, 85%, 90%. I love a super high percentage of dark chocolate. If I can find like a 90% chocolate bar that barely has any sugar in it, a lot of times I will favor that over like milk chocolate, because I don't like chocolate that's super sugary. I think it's just growing up in Europe, I feel like American chocolate it just has a lot more sugar in it, and it almost tastes grainier for that reason. The Milka chocolate that I grew up eating in Germany, it's creamier and it's not quite as sweet. It's interesting how chocolate kind of varies from country to country in terms of people's taste buds and, you know, what they prefer or what they tend to like a little bit more. Sorry, my hair is driving me nuts today, you guys. I should have probably just put it up. All right, the last, I was gonna say Halloween. We are nowhere near Halloween. The last Valentine's collection candle that I was enjoying this week was the Strawberry Prosecco. And this one I've actually burned the least, but I have really been enjoying this one. It is really sweet, and that bubbly note is quite potent in here, but it's a great combo. Listen, if you like those bubbly, champagne-y, effervescent type fragrances, for example, if you really like Champagne Toast from Bath & Body Works, I think you would absolutely adore this. And it's had a beautiful burn, just like all three of these candles have. Just like how the soy formula just works for me in general from Cringle. So next, let's go ahead and chit chat about the 5 new Cringle Reserve fragrances that launched this past week. I have burned all 5 of the candles, and I did 2 separate burns of at least 4 hours each. So I can give you some initial first impressions, if you will, in terms of post-burn. I will still be burning these at least a third of the way down, so you can see I'm not a third of the way yet. So it'll probably be next week towards the latter part of the week that I'll start doing these in-depth reviews. So we're gonna get started with my least favorite from the collection. This is the Lilac and Lilies. The reason that this is my least favorite is that I'm not personally a huge fan of lilac in home fragrance. I also don't tend to love lily scents. Despite being a florist, lilies always, I feel like I'm supposed to love all florals because of what I do for a living, but I definitely have preferences. And lilies just always remind me of funerals. Listen, I love doing funeral arrangements. They're some of my favorite arrangements to do. But the smell of them just, I don't know, it makes me think funeral home, and I don't want my home to smell like a funeral home, if that makes sense. And lilac is just really, really intense, typically in home fragrance. And it's a little, maybe a little old-fashioned smelling to my nose. It's just not my favorite floral note, right? And this is a pretty intense, I would say, lilac and lily combo here. Definitely Lily of the Valley. She shines through in here. So if you like Lily of the Valley, you're in luck with this one. And if you like lilac, you're gonna absolutely adore this one. It is still very much a powdery lilac and powdery lily scent. The powder note is throwing me off a little bit too in this one, but as long as you're okay with that, I think you might definitely enjoy this. Yeah, it's very intensely powdery to my nose. I will say it burned great. It wasn't quite as potent as I thought it was gonna be, which had me just being like, thank you, candle gods. I thought this was going to be an absolute powerhouse, but so far I would actually only put the strength and throw of this one at about a 6. So that's more than enough for me personally, but if you're hoping for more out of this one, with these first 2 burns, that's what I got. So just an FYI there. You will have to trim these wicks. I'll show you the wicks here. I decided not to trim any of the wicks so that you could see what you're getting wick-wise here. But again, nice clean burn. I'll review these when I get to the, third of the way down. So probably again, next week is when we'll start digging into these. The next one I want to mention is the Pink Peony and Pomelo. And you guys, I love this one. If you like citrus and floral together, you've got to give this one a go. The peony note is really lovely. Now, this is another one where the peony is a little powdery, but not crazy powdery. But it mixes so well with that grapefruit. The strength and throw of this is more of what I'm used to from Cringle in this 2-wick format, which is right around like a 7. Maybe even like a 7.5. This one is, I would say, fairly potent. The wicks, you definitely want to trim the very top little nubs off, but on this one, there's not huge mushroom tops that form, so you can kind of see that there. For some reason, this wick over here is a little closer to the edge, so I'm kind of watching this candle a little bit more. I'm sure this is still within the safe range here, but it does make me a little bit nervous that that wick is traveling. It's not traveling over to the side. I think it was maybe just misplaced a little bit. So this is one where I'll burn it a third of the way down to review it, but I might put it in the crock if the wick continues to stay in that position. Because like I said, I feel like I kind of have to watch this candle. And I don't always want to do that. I don't want to necessarily babysit, but the fragrance itself is lovely. So I'm sure this was just a like misplaced wick situation. I don't think all of the candles are going to look like this because none of these other candles had misplaced wicks. So sometimes there's just a one-off with that. All right, Purple Majesty. This one has notes of amber, floral, spice, fruit, and sandalwood. And you know what? I do like this one, but I'm still not 100% sure whether I love it. I know that I like it, but there is something a little bit funky about it at the same time. It's just a very unique floral. And this one did get some massive mushroom tops, like much bigger, you can see there, than the first 2 candles. Again, nice clean burn, no issues there, but yeah, I love the amber in here. So the amber I love. The spice does come out a little bit more. It's a very subdued spice note, but you do smell it when it's burning. The sandalwood that's in here is kind of a nice creamy sandalwood actually. There's floral notes in here, but it's not crazy distinct. It's just a very lovely, unique, creamy ambery floral. I mean, that's the best, like, if I were to just like break it down, like that's the best way to explain this one. I like it. It's not super potent though. This is another one where I'm getting about like a 6 in terms of strength and throw. So a little lighter. I really was expecting the vast majority of these to be like super potent because florals usually tend to be, but that it has not been the case. So the strongest has definitely been the Pink Peony and Pomelo. This one here I had burning in our master bedroom, and I really like this one a lot. This is the Honey Blossom. So this is honey, wood, floral, spice, amber, and wood. Good burn on this one. The very small little nubs at the top. Definitely I'll trim these wicks, but you can see here that they're not crazy like absurd mushroom tops or anything. This is just so warm and cozy. This is honey, but not overly sweet honey. It is definitely a very distinct honey fragrance. The sweetness that you're getting is not molasses. It's not like a regular sugary scent. It's very much honey. And I love it. There's a little bit of like a woodiness here as well. It's just so good. And the amber, I feel like the amber presents itself in this one a little bit more when it's burning. It's very cozy. It's very warm. It's a very inviting fragrance. In fact, this is one that I think is kind of a good year-round type of scent. Like, this is something that I could see myself burning in the summer, but I'm enjoying it here in the winter as well. Not sure that I would really do this during the fall, but I think this might actually be interesting with some holiday tree fragrances as well. So if I finish this one, I will repurchase it, and specifically to pair it with some holiday tree fragrances this coming holiday season, because I just think it would be such an interesting combo. So I'm gonna try that. I'll let you guys know how it goes. But so far, just this on its own, love it, big fan. And then the last one is the Midnight Dahlia. Okay, this one is so green when I'm burning it. I think it might be a little bit too green for me. It's just very, very intensely green. Definitely, I feel like it smells like the stem of a dahlia, more so even than like the leaves. Yeah, it's green. So the notes here are freesia petals, lily of the valley. The lily of the valley is quite present in this one as well. Fresh citrus, garden mint. Surprisingly, the mint isn't noticeable when I'm burning it. I can smell it on cold snip, but I do not get the mint when I'm burning it. Green leaves, white jasmine, cedarwood, and musk. It is definitely a little musky as well. I do smell a touch of cedarwood, but that's not crazy potent in here. Yeah, but it's more so than the floral component. I feel like I am smelling the stem of the dahlias, which are, most of us have seen dahlias or have grown them or have purchased them. They have like a thicker stem, especially as you go down the plant. And I'm just very used to this smell because we have a lot of brides that love the dahlias, especially kind of later on in the summer. So we purchase a lot of them, and when we bring them into the studio, it is very much like this weird, like wet green stem type note. And I smell that in here in spades. So they definitely captured that in terms of this being a dahlia fragrance. But yeah, the lily of the valley, I would say, is the other like floral component that I pick up the most here. Freesia, not as much, a little bit of jasmine, but I think the green just kind of takes over here. I don't love this one. Listen, I'm always upfront about whether I like a fragrance or not. Not everything is going to be made for me, and that's totally fine. You know, we all have our personal preferences, but this one is definitely not to my personal liking. I'm going to continue to burn it and review it, but this is one that I'm going to go ahead and probably pass along to one of my friends. I think after I review it, I will probably pass along the lilac one as well. So, but probably no surprise there. In terms of the wicks, this one has really nice wicks, not too much in the way of mushroom tops, so a simple trim there will do it. But yeah, no issues obviously with the burn otherwise, I guess, than me not really loving the scent. So there's that. All right, we have just some wax melts to go through next. So I brought up my little bucket here of things that I was using around the house this past week. So I did go through a couple of bars of Happy Birthday. Love Happy Birthday. Actually, I went through 3 bars of Happy Birthday. This one, I only had a partial bar left of. This is the almond croissant. So you guys know how I feel about almond croissant. I absolutely adore this one. I finally got this in my club order in January, so I melted my first bar of it. It's the whipped frosting. I didn't get my hands on this when it was first released. I just popped it in my club, and it finally came, and I really love this scent. It really does smell like a true whipped vanilla frosting, but I do think that it is kind of short-lived though. I think I get a longer lifespan out of my Happy Birthday. After about a day and a half, this definitely faded to the point where I was like, oh, sad. Am I gonna keep it in my club though? Probably. It's just such a good vanilla, you guys. What I may do is mix it with some other fragrances that need just a little bit of like vanilla oomph. But yeah, this on its own is absolutely gorgeous. I just wish it lasted more than a day and a half. So that's my only complaint about this one, but I do love the scent. So I'll keep it in my club. I'm gonna keep it in my club. So it just is that good in terms of a really yummy vanilla scent. So I also finished a Yuzu Dragon. So this was part of the Bring Back My Bar. I really like this one. It's not the sweetest citrus scent, but it's very crisp, very refreshing, just a very vibrant citrus. And I definitely distinctly smell that yuzu in here, and it is good. This is good. If this is still available, I would definitely say get it. And then I also used 1 cube of the Sedona Sunset. This was also a part of the Bring Back My Bar. Now this one, I actually didn't mind this when it was warming, but it really isn't like a favorite or anything like that. It's kind of an interesting, like musky, like perfumey musky type of fragrance. It makes a good bathroom scent, but it's not something that I would go out of my way to vote for if it ever came back, or even probably repurchase in the future if it ever came back in another Bring Back My Bar. But definitely a good one to try. So yeah, I'll probably just keep this in the upstairs powder room here and continue to use it up there. But the last thing I'm gonna mention is I actually do have a kind of big box of vendor wax that I will occasionally pull something out of. And this week I decided to use the Pharmacist's Daughter Cutie Pie wax melts. This was a mix of rainbow sherbet, fruity pebbles, and marshmallow fluff. I tend to not reach into that box too terribly often, only because I know that I'll have to change those wax melts out a lot more frequently, and I just get kind of lazy about it. But I did actually really like this one. It was kind of in like a cupcake shape. I will say when it comes to vendor wax, I do really like, you know, how they come in like these fun shapes, and, you know, there's like extra glitter and fun stuff involved. Oh, this one was really good. I really think that the like fruity pebble note is what makes this one really delicious. And it does, it smells like the cereal Fruity Pebbles, which now as an adult, I don't think I could ever eat. I mean, oh my gosh, it's that sugary cereal. I don't know how I did it as a kid, but can't do it anymore as an adult, I'll tell you that. All right, you guys, that's everything that I have for you this week. Thank you so much for being here and tuning in. If this is one of your first videos here and you're interested in more home fragrance related content, make sure you hit that subscribe button before checking out. Also give this video a big fat thumbs up, and don't forget to let me know what you are burning and melting in the comments down below. So again, thanks for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.